Alright, y'all. Here is what I'm going to call my big knife collection. And I literally mean big. I got quite a few of them. And some of them are pretty sizable. So these are primarily what people refer to as sheath knives. So none of these will be folding. These are all blades. And there are actually some fighting blades mixed in here. And I'll show you what those are. Many of these are utility knives of various types. And we'll start with up here. Actually, that's a machete I bought at Lowe's. And I was tired. I saw that and it was an impulse purchase. Because I've always had these garbage machetes. This is made in Brazil. And really the best machete I have ever had. And it put an edge, ground an edge on it. And man, it goes to town on Yopons when I go to really rough terrain. And right below it is not a machete. That is a Fishmongers Knife. And that is made, goodness gracious, it's set on the back. They still make them. In fact, the version they make is, there it is, Dexter. And they still make this exact knife, except that it has, it's a plastic handle. Some kind of a plastic handle, and it's white. And they, it's made to be kept clean, and I believe the one they make now is stainless. But it looks very much like that. It has a clip tip and everything. And then below it is a mystery knife. I cannot find an identifier on that. I'm pretty sure that is also a style of fishmonger knife, but I don't know that for sure. And of course, that is a monstrosity of horror movie butcher knife. Good night. And I could not find an identifier on that one either. Man, I don't remember seeing anything that identified that blade. So, ooh, there it is, but Dexter. This is also a Dexter. My bad. Dexter's right there. I don't know if it'll focus for you, but that's a Dexter also. And Dexter makes very high-end kitchen and commercial cutlery. And other stuff, too. And they're good stuff. And they're pricey, but, they make really good things. And then the one right below it is a Forge Craft carbon, considerably older butcher knife. Love it. Carbon steel, of course. The one under it is a mystery butcher knife. Couldn't find an identifier. Sometimes it's been cleaned so many times that it's worn and you can't find it. And then up here I've got an Nco. What is essentially, I'm probably going to make it's essentially a small Bowie knife with a clipped false edge. And that one is made by Nco. Excuse me, that one is an LL Bean. And the LL Bean made some pretty awesome knives. So there's your LL Bean right there. And then the one below it is an Nco. And then below that, that's Imperial Knife. The one below it with the serrated is Imperial Knife. And the one below that is an Ontario Knife Company, very well known knife company. I believe they've done contracts for the U.S. military over the years too. And we got that one relatively recently and haven't totally cleaned it up yet. So, and then that's just that's an example of what I found at a garage sale. Japan stainless, made in Japan was the big thing at the time. And actually, pretty functional knife. You don't feel bad if you mess it up, and it's a pretty good blade. And then below that is a Ontario Knife Company Old Hickory. And actually, that too is an Old Hickory Ontario Knife Company. So, and they say it clearly on the blade, actually it's on the handle. And, Ontario Knife Company. And let's see, up here I've got, I want to say that is the Super Edge. And the one of these is an Nco. Goodness gracious. See, that is the Super Edge. And then I've got an Nco. And then that's an Nco right there. And then a company called Chuppa. And I believe I've heard of them as being high-end. And these are from garage sales. The vast majority of this, to include that Fishmonger's knife, was at a garage sale. And I inherited those two big knives, and I bought that other one at a garage sale. So It is doable. People say, yeah, I bought this at a garage sale. And you're like, yeah, right. No, I bought the vast majority of garage sales. And they're fabulous. So we're going to come over here. Now, this gets a little more exotic for some people. So at the top here, this is called a jambia. It's from North Africa. And off the top of my head, I want to say Tunisia, but it might be Morocco. Either way, it's a North African, basically a personal defense blade. It has a double edge, sort of. The sharp edge is on top, and then it has a false edge on the bottom. And gotta do a little bit more work on it. Trust me, it actually looked worse when I first got it. Below it is and I bought this at a garage sale for 10 bucks, is a Civil War, American Civil War, Arkansas toothpick. And it has a precursor Bakelite style handle, and I don't remember what the material is. It's not exactly Bakelite. And a brass crossguard, and it's an Arkansas toothpick. And for 10 bucks, when I saw it laying on that table at a neighborhood garage sale, I was like, oh, goodness gracious. I didn't even talk him down. Hand him a $10 bill. And I got on out of there. So, below it is a Japanese Nco Tanto from World War II. No scabbard. Probably, almost certainly, and it's been ground down to make it pretty sharp. I don't think it was originally that small. It actually has a bit of an edge on it, and GI picked that up. Most likely, either surrendered or dead Japanese soldier. It is what it is. Below it is a made in Japan knockoff of a basically the U.S. Marine Corps fighting knife, and M2, I think, and actually a pretty good copy. Not a bad. The scabbard is crappy, but the blade is comparable in quality to other knives that I've seen, and I've seen some knockoffs that are garbage. It's actually pretty good commercial copy. So, and you wouldn't feel too bad using the blade like that if you lose it. Oh well, So I know what it's like to lose something in the military and have to pay for it. Sucks. So up here I've got my original dive knife I bought when I was 17, Winaka, and I showed that because it is high-grade stainless. It's quite expensive at the time, and it's a fine dive knife. I had people try to buy that off of me, and I'm like, nope. A lot of sentimental value, and a great knife. Easy to take down, easy to clean. Completely comes apart, and I got do a little clean work on it, but hey. And then that was a gift. SOG, you're like, what are you doing with that commercial? Well, it was given as a gift, and I'm very appreciative, and I thank that person for it. So, and then these I made. This one I made from a gold medal file, and then I'm a shed hunter. I look for antlers. So I made, basically a file has a tang. So I just drilled a hole in some antlers I had, and I have a lot of antlers. And made it a hidden tang dagger. Right now they don't have an edge on them. I have added an edge on both. And I'm still kind of playing with the shape that I want and kind of learning a little bit. Basically, and this other one is essentially a left-handed. The way that I mounted it, it's a left-handed weapon to be comfortable in your hand, and that's a righty. And I've used this as a field weapon, as a field knife, very much. I just took the edge off and reshaped it so that I could put a more tapered bevel so that the edge would maintain longer. Both of the files, that's a made in Japan file, but pretty good steel. And then that one is, that company made specifically files, gold medal file company, for many years. So you can say, oh my God, they made millions. And it was good steel. So I made it into a dagger. And that is my first attempt, and boy, isn't that pretty sorry looking, at a scabbard. And then I'm pretty proud of that scabbard right there. That's functional, and I've used it, and it's, I used old bootlaces off my old snake boots that I wore out, and looks pretty good, and I like it. So that's probably going to be the prototype for my file knives sheath. Pretty, I like it. Good stuff. So that is pretty ugly, and it works. Protects the blade, but anyway. And these are just examples of very functional knives I use for cleaning fish, You bet. Man, that's in every tackle box. And every real fisherman tackle box in America, probably old school's got those. You know, it's real flimsy, but really good for filleting fish. So, good old buck. Yes, I bought it at a garage sale. No, really. I'm not sure. I might have bought my other buck at the garage sale. That might be the one I've had. You know what? That's the one I've had for, God, almost 30 years. So I have another buck that I bought at a garage sale. Couldn't find a scabbard, so I didn't put it in here. And that is the knife that I can't figure out what it is because it's been cleaned so many times that the manufacturer has worn off. But that is the knife that I grew up with in the kitchen of the house I grew up in. And then I recently inherited it, or asked for it. I said, hey, can I go ahead and have this? And because it has a lot of sentimental value for me. I mean, it's nothing special, but, you know, that's the knife I remember cutting onions with us, you know, when I could cut onions. So, and then I got this throwing knife I got many years ago. I suck at throwing knives, and throwing knives is hard. Bought that as a teenager, you know, one of those, basically this is one of those crap side of the road knives, but that's an example of not much, you know. But and then I bought that recently at a garage sale, and I don't think it's considered a meat cleaver. It's not sharpened. I believe it's considered a cheese cutter. It just looks cool, and I'd like to find some old meat cleavers. I just haven't found any yet. And that, believe it or not, is a paring knife. I use it as a letter opener, but I put an edge on it, and it holds an edge. And the reason it does is because Imperial Knife makes it, and it's called the Granny Parer knife, or Granny Parer, excuse me. And great letter opener, but be careful, because, man, I have nicked myself on that going, whew. I thought, okay, it's a little sharp, you know, I sharpen, I go, this will make a great letter opener. And then all of a sudden, you know, as a letter opener, you're kind of throwing it around, and I'm like, oops, I'm bleeding. So, pretty nice. I like it. I used to think, well, I'm just taking a letter opener. No, this actually says Granny Parer. I don't think it's going to focus in the low light, but there it is. Granny's Parer. So, pretty neat. Anyway, there is my quote-unquote big knife collection. And then some of them, you just can't argue. They're big. They're real big. So, you know, I didn't pay much for some of these inherited, some of these, a few I bought new, but very few. Most of these garage sales. And, you know, they just fascinate me. They're neato. Some of them are very functional and very useful. Some of them, you know, gotta be careful because you can cut yourself. Yes, I have cut myself. So there's my big knife collection, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. And y'all have a fine evening. Talk to y'all later. Bye now.